And with Hangouts too, it auto switches when someone talks.
Yep.
So you don't need to keep clicking on someone's picture. It just does it automatically with a voice when they start talking.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Makes life easier.
It does, yeah, because I've seen, do you watch Synth Spaces?
No.
He does his podcast through Skype, and he sits with his mouse and chooses each person who's talking.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So with this, it automatically does it. Well,
I
it's
suppose
saying,
it gives a bit
yeah.
of crowd control with the whole situation, though. But
Oh, because you got multiple people. Yeah. Well, it's saying, so Hangouts is saying I'm live, but then YouTube's saying I'm offline. Oh, I'm flying. So I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. I'll go to my channel and see if it's showing up. Even like in Spider-Man.
yeah, good. Like it's very much the same, but as long as the story keeps me going along, I'll be happy with it. Like it's fun as it's sort of progressing with in terms of getting extra moves and everything. But yeah, I can't shake the feeling that I've done it before. You know?
Yeah, me too. Because it's from the developers of Ratchet and Clank. Are you noticing a few Ratchet and Clank references here and there?
Nah, I haven't. I never really sort of had a PlayStation back in its heyday, so I didn't really get into the whole Ratchet and Clank sort of thing. But
So the bit when you select your gadgets, that's straight out of Ratchet and Clank. It's the same interface.
Oh, okay.
And the bit where you got to repower up the metal arm, that robot arm bit, that's Ratchet and Clank as well.
Oh, okay.
That same sort of mini game. All right, so I'm on the video page and it's just loading. Give me a second. Making sure this is working before we start getting into it.
Yeah.
Since Spacey recorded a podcast once and then lost all of it.
Oh, it's the worst feeling.
And H3, you know H3?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the same thing happened to them too.
Oh. Like I think we did a podcast once, and Blaine he thought he'd exited out, and he thought that the system didn't actually save all the audio for afterwards. He's like, "Oh, it's gone. You need to upload it. You need to do that." And we found out that it does save it, so that was good.
That's good. Is that one you told me about?
Yeah, the Zencaster one, but that's just audio only.
Yeah, I want to do video as well.
Yeah, it's something we've been looking into, but we're just sort of trying to work out what's going to be the easiest one to do and everything. I think Blaine knows a bit about audio, but not the video sort of side of things.
Definitely use Hangouts to start off with.
Because
it records it all for you. You don't have to use OBS or anything.
Yeah. Because he wanted to do it over Twitch. I'm just like, I think if we do it over Twitch, that people are going to, like, obviously want to chat and everything. And it's like, well, like that could sort of move you off of what your actual subjects are and everything. So,
yeah, I sent you the link to the page it says it's broadcasting to. Actually, it's on private, so I'll make it public for a second and see if you can see it. Because of me, it just gives me a loading screen. It doesn't actually do anything. Well, my connection looks good enough because I can see you pretty clearly. And can you see and hear me all right?
Yeah.
Not,
it's probably not the best quality, but I can see ya.
That's good. That's all that matters.
Yeah, it's just saying that it's not available or unavailable.
Yeah, I'll make sure it's I'll put it on public. All right, now refresh it and see if it does anything.
Oh, geez. It's a big picture of me.
Oh, is it? It should be auto switching. Is it playing or is it just showing a thumbnail?
It's playing.
Is it switching to me when I talk?
It's just catching up now, so I'll just say
Showing a thumbnail.
no. It's playing.
Is it switching to me when I talk?
It's just catching up now, so I'll just say yeah. No, it's not switching over. No.
All right. What I really like to do is have both people on screen at once, but it doesn't seem to let you do that. Seem to let you do that. It's just you. All right. What if? Okay, it's switching, but I don't know if it's switching because I'm talking or because I pressed me.
That might be. Oh shit! That might be what it is.
Because I used. Okay, it's switching, but I don't know if it's switching because I'm talking or because I pressed me.
That might be. Oh shit! That
What?
might be what it is.
Okay, it's switching, but I don't know if it's switching because I'm talking or because I pressed. What broke? What dropped a minute ago?
Oh, it was just my phone.
Oh, okay, didn't break.
Nah, thank God. The amount of money I've spent on friggin' repairs for these iPhones.
What broke? What dropped a minute ago? we got an echo. All right.
Like the eternal loop.
All right. Sure I did auto switching. Broadcast to everyone. There we go. That could work. Then broadcast to everyone.
Okay, so that like switched back. It looks like it's sort of switching now.
Hello, hello, hello.
That's showing you now.
And then you talk.
Testing, testing. Like it did it just before.
It's hard because it's on delay. It's hard to tell.
Like I can switch it manually between me and you. I don't know.
It's annoying because when I was testing it before, it was working. Oh, well, how about I just try to do it manually?
Oh, it should be fun.
All right, so I haven't done anything like this before, so give me a second to get my introduction sorted.
You all right, man?
So when you did your podcast, did you have any like template or like script?
Nah, honestly, dude, we just went in and we sort of did like a couple of beta episodes and everything just to try everything out and see. We tried different things and what worked, and then it's always evolving at the moment.
Well, it's a good thing this podcast is called How to Start a Podcast. So alrighty, so I'll just do an intro and see how we go.
Beautiful.
That's why I'm going to edit this, because I don't think just using the raw footage will be any good.
I mean, sometimes it's good. Like we chuck on a lot of sort of B-side stuff if it's just goofing around or something. So
is my audio sounded okay?
Yeah, audio is fine, dude.
There's a little bit of echo too. Is that
I can't.
You can't hear it?
Echo, no.
When I talk, I can hear an echo.
maybe it's just like a feedback thing for you.
Maybe. All right, let's start this. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the We Are Content Creators podcast. Today we have Mad Mikey, and we're going to be talking about how to start a gaming podcast. Say hello, Mikey.
Hello, guys. I don't know if I'm the biggest, person who can tell you how to start a podcast, but it's always good to hear different stories, I suppose.
Yep, that's why we're doing this podcast, to get everyone's different viewpoints on different topics. And I can see your podcast, you've been doing it for about a year now.
Yeah, I think it's been going about a year or two. We've done about 32 episodes at the moment, so it's ever sort of changing. We've brought in new people. We've had a few sort of high-profile guests here in Australia, and we've had a few lesser-known people, like from Twitch and everything. So it's really fun on a sort of fortnightly basis that we do ours on.
And for those Americans, what does fortnightly mean?
I think they think that it means a game, but fortnightly is every 2 weeks for English speaking. Not English, but proper English.
British English. They get a bit confused with that.
Oh yeah,
it is confusing doing Twitch and doing podcasting. Our Australian language is very confusing to other people.
Whereas theirs is probably a bit confusing to us.
Yeah, I saw someone in a Twitch chat didn't know what a servo was. So that was
servo, yeah.
So it's a gas station. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's not a gas station. What's a mobile phone? We only have cellular phones over here.
Yes, the language barrier is surprisingly there.
It's good to teach people a few things.
Yeah. And your not guest, but your co-host, he's American?
Yeah, he's from, I believe, the Louisiana area. We just met through social media, to be honest. It's a very random sort of meeting. Because I had a YouTube channel, I've been doing that for about 3 years. I'm taking a bit of a break from there at the moment, just sort of changing up a few things. But we met on an app called, what was it called? We don't even use it now. We are starting to sort of look into it for podcasting, because they do host podcasts now. Oh, what is it called? Anchor. That's what it's called. Anchor was, I think it started up about 2 years ago, and it's almost like Twitter. Well, that's how it started out as, but you could actually chat. Like, you'd leave like 30-second comments, and your initial sort of comment that you made on whatever thread that you were doing would go for 60 seconds, a minute. And then you could just have people respond to you. And I really enjoyed that sort of platform, because you're not going to have your little keyboard warriors behind you just typing away like where you might actually think about what you're going to say, because there's a voice behind it. So that's where we met. We were just talking shit about games and everything, and we just then started following each other in social media, had a lot of the same, sort of, what's it called? Oh, my train of thought. Just we enjoyed the same, interest. That's the word I'm looking for. and we just sort of started on there, talk. Oh, we should do a podcast, and then one thing led to another, and you're discussing what you're going to call it, and then we ended up settling on the Gamer Nation podcast.
That is a good name, I think. Then you have the hashtag. Is that a part of the name, or is that's for search?
Yeah, that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to sort of. He used to do a lot of hashtagging with his stuff, and he always used to put hashtag Gamer Nation. And when we were talking about naming the whole podcast, we had a couple of ideas, and then I just flat out said, "Why don't we just call it hashtag Gamer Nation podcast?" And he's like, "So simple, so brilliant. Yep, let's go with it," because we're obviously from other sides of the world, and want to talk to other people across the other side of the world too.
It's surprising how confusing time zones are.
Yes, it does take. It's a bit hard when they're from America because we do ours on the weekend, and then Blaine gets it all up and everything sort of midweek, the week after, and it'll be like, "Oh, what time do you guys want to go on the weekend?" And sometimes we'll say, "Oh yeah, we'll do Saturday night or something," and it'll just confuse. So every time I have to say, yeah, we'll do it at this time, it's like, we'll do it at this time, your time, because I just on the phone, I've got all the different time zones on there.
Yeah, it's very confusing. So we were at what, 14 hours ahead of them usually, depending on time zone.
Oh, and then it varies because now we've got another co-host on there, Taylor Nixter, who's a game journalist actually. Another one of sort of Blaine's friends. She's worked at Jewel Shockers. She left there and now she's work. I can't remember where else she's working at the moment. She's been so busy there that sort of we can't get her on all the time. But she's a regular. She knows what she's talking about, which is really good. And it's good to have a female perspective on there as well. And so she's been on there now, and she lives. I think she's about an hour ahead of Blaine. So we have to put a lot of things into perspective. And she's just finished college and everything. So she's sort of getting out there in the world as well. So it's a bit hard to try and tell these early 20-year-olds and mid 20-year-olds, oh, just give up your Saturday night for a podcast.
Yeah. It'll be a bit tricky.
It is.
So you're saying that you're not in mid-20s?
No, I'm definitely not in the mid-20s. I'm old enough not to know how to answer that question.
Okay, all right, fair enough. So you've been gaming for a while then?
I've been, well, this will probably give away my age. So I've been gaming for probably about 35 years.
All right. So that's your age then. That's good.
Yeah.
All right. So with gaming, what got you started?
Wow. Well, and this will probably give a bit more away. When I was, I think it was about 4 years old, my cousin had a Commodore 64 and we were over there and we were playing and obviously got introduced to what video games were and everything. And I think my cousin ended up selling the Commodore to my dad when I was about 5 because they wanted me to, just have all these computers and stuff. Obviously, thinking that that's the way going to be the way of the future. No, I lie. Probably before that, when I was about 3 or 4 going on 5, I had an Atari.
Was that a 2600?
It was the wooden finish too. Oh, the beautiful thing
the
that
classic
it was.
One.
Yeah. And me and my mum, we used to play it. We just used to play when she got home from work, and then while we were waiting for Dad to come home, we'd just go a few rounds of like Space Invaders, and I'd probably say that that's where my love of gaming sort of came from. Yeah.
Did you ever play ET?
ET? No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I think
it's horrible, but I heard other people say it's okay. So
it might fall into that category of being so bad that it's good now.
Like that movie, The Room. Have you seen that one?
The movie, The Room. No. Or
I've got that on.
Is that Jodie Foster?
No, it's Tommy Wiseau, I think his name is. You gotta look that up. I've got it on Blu-ray. I haven't watched it yet, but it's the worst movie ever. It's it's been called. Yeah, it's amazing. How awful it is. Sorry, I got distracted. Back to games. Yeah, I was thinking about bad things and then thought about that movie. So back to games. So yeah, I started with Windows 98. That was my first game, or my first PC.
Ooh.
So our age difference is a bit there.
So you would have started a bit later on, yeah?
Yeah. My first console was the Master System.
Mine too. Apart from the Atari, like it was all sort of Commodore 64 and PC gaming before that. But my parents used to rent me the Master System instead of buying it for me. It wasn't until my 16th birthday that they actually bought me one for my own.
Very good. Did you ever have the Mega Drive?
I think no, it wasn't. Sorry, I lie. It wasn't the Master System. It was the Mega Drive 2 that I had.
Yes. Very good. The first console I played was the Mega Drive, but the first one I owned was the Master System.
Yeah.
Because
that
back
with
then,
Alex the Kid built in?
yeah, Alex Kidd built in, yep.
Yep.
Because people got confused because people just called it the Sega.
Hmm.
I didn't understand those different models. So when I asked for a Sega, I got a Master System instead of Mega Drive.
Ah, were you
But
devastated?
I didn't really know the difference back then.
No, I don't think
It still
anybody.
had Sonic on it. It just was a different type of Sonic. And that Sonic is not that bad considering how limited that machine is.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's stripped down, but it's still got the basic Sonic stuff on it, like the running and the jumping and the rings and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, Sonic Mania actually uses a lot of stuff in the Master System version. Don't know if you noticed.
I've got it on the Switch, but I haven't played it that much.
One of the bosses, I can't remember which one it was, like a big worm type thing. That's a boss from the Mega Drive Master System game. When
Ah.
he's jumping through the sand.
Yep.
I think that's the one. Yeah. There's a few other references to it too.
That's good. I think that was sort of intended to be like just an homage to the old Sonic games and everything. So it's good that they're going back that far and not forgetting about it.
And there's a remaster, or a unofficial remaster of Sonic Chaos. It's from the Master System.
Oh,
Did you hear that about that?
was that like sort of third person or multi sort of level one?
Wasn't that? It was
No, I'm thinking
kind of like Sonic Mania, just based on Sonic Chaos.
Ah, okay.
Someone's taken the assets from Sonic Mania and they sort of made it into Sonic Chaos.
Yeah. Sweet.
It's a fan project, so it's not going to officially be released, but it's still cool.
So you're obviously a bit of a Sonic fan.
Yes, I got most of the Sonic games.
even the bad ones?
Even the bad ones. I've got Sonic 06. I don't know if you can see my collection there behind me. It's there somewhere.
Yeah.
And Sonic. I haven't got Sonic. Oh, what's that one on the Wii U that everyone hates? A Sonic Boom. I haven't got that yet.
Yeah.
I've been looking for it. I've got Sonic Lost Worlds, which apparently isn't that bad once you update it.
Mm.
But I haven't really checked out much of the modern ones. I've got Sonic Forces. That's okay. Did you check out Sonic Forces?
No, I think the last one that I really got excited about was the one on the DS that was made by BioWare, like the RPG one.
Oh yeah. It was a Sonic and Lost Brotherhood or something.
Something like that. But I just remember hearing so many good things about that game. I got really excited for it. I'm a huge BioWare fan, so I'm like, oh, this should be interesting. And then I played it. I was like, yeah, it's all right. It was good for what it was at the end of the day.
I actually haven't played much DS. I bought one in a garage sale, but I haven't really checked it out yet.
Oh,
There's so much stuff on there I need to check out.
Yeah.
What I really want is to get the HDMI modded so I can record it, capture it.
Oh, yep.
You know about that?
For the old DS.
Yeah, you can get it for the 3DS, but also you can get it for the one of the DS models. I'm not sure if it's the original one, but it's thing like DS Lite or something.
You might have to check with Nintendo and see if they let you actually stream all that stuff.
Yeah, they probably
Well,
don't.
I know they're bad on YouTube at least.
Oh, they're very strict. But I have seen people stream Pokemon, and they seem to be doing it. So
I think it's the on-demand stuff that they get a bit grumpy about. But I remember when I was doing my YouTube like 3-4 times a day that I did a Nintendo. I think it was when Bayonetta got announced on the Switch, and I put up like the trailer of it, and I just got content strikes against it. I'm just like, oh, well, that's it. I'm not doing anything for Nintendo anymore.
yeah, it's strange how they were doing that because it's advertising them.
Yeah,
like game developers pay people to stream their stuff and review their stuff, and Nintendo said they're like, no.
And unless you give them 50% of your revenue,
yeah,
and join up with Nintendo partners or whatever.
No, that's not going to happen.
I did, but I just didn't do enough sort of Nintendo only content just to justify it, sort of thing. And it's not like I was making much money off of it anyway. You don't really make much money off of YouTube until about sort of 5 years in.
Yeah, I've been seeing that. But now, have you noticed we had a big boom on YouTube lately? A lot of people are hitting the 10 million mark.
I don't know how they're doing it. I don't know if they're just really good salesmen.
Yeah, I've been noticing a lot of people growing really quickly lately.
Oh,
There's someone called Call Me Kevin. Have you heard about him? An Irish
no.
guy, Irish Let's Player. Not Jacksepticeye. Another one. He was on 200,000 recently, and then he just jumped up to 1 million like within a few
Jesus.
months. So he's just growing like crazy.
Good on them though. Like you've got to you got to hustle in all sort of your social medias and everything, and obviously that relates to podcasts as well.
Yep.
You've got to hustle, and that's probably one of my downfalls in regards to everything. I can't sell myself to save my life. To be honest, like I can say, oh yeah, I know this, I do this better than this person, but I just can't bring myself to do it constantly.
It's hard. So how do you promote your podcast once you upload them?
Well, and strangely enough, I'm the one who's been stuck with doing all of this as of late. I use a lot of iPhone apps just to do thumbnails and do a lot of the promotional tools. We just basically go through Instagram, Twitter, Facebook to an extent. Facebook is just a very large pond that unless you really buying advertising, you're not going to get much sort of traction. Whereas with Instagram and Twitter, you can put your hashtags and everything and hopefully get along. But that's pretty much all we do it. And we rely a lot on word of mouth as well, because we do have a lot of actual loyal and vocal followers out there that are more than happy to sort of share everything with all their followers. I don't know exactly if we can tell how many subscribers we've got.
Yeah. Do you upload through Apple, through iTunes?
We at the moment we are going through SoundCloud, which you've got to pay the $15 a month for that.
Does that sync to iTunes?
Yeah, and then it just syncs through to iTunes and Podcast One. But Blaine is really keeps on top of all of the actual ways that you can do these. So he's actually been looking into, as I said, the Anchor app. Apparently that's really good because you can put hashtags and try and get out there. And at the moment, it's still a really small growing market there for podcasts, but it is growing. So that's probably where we're going to move on to from there. But at the same time, you don't want to alienate your SoundCloud subscribers.
Yeah, that's
right. So it does become a juggling act in sorts to be able to sort of keep it going.
It's getting a bit hard when you got all these different platforms and you got to make sure everything's on everything.
Well, yeah, you're probably doing yourself a disservice if you aren't getting out there onto as many platforms as you can.
I know when I do my Twitch streams, I try to post all my social media, and it takes about 10 minutes to do all that before I start the stream.
Well, if I don't know if you've heard of the app called If This Then That.
Ooh, I have heard of it, but I haven't used it.
That's what I actually use for my Twitch. So there's a lot of things, and they call them applets. So at the moment, I've got automatically post on your official Facebook page when you start streaming on Twitch. Post a tweet when you get a new follower on Twitch. If a new stream has started, then you post a tweet to Mad Mikey, and all those sorts of things. So that takes a lot of the middle ground work out of it.
I need to check that out. I have heard of it, but I haven't checked it out in a while.
Because there is a lot of sort of pre-made ones that do sort of your simple kind of things. And then you can obviously just sort of tweak them to what you want to do, whether you want to put hashtags, whether you want to put other sort of Twitter groups that will share your content as well, just if you tag them in. And then, of course, you've got like streaming Twitch groups that you can join that will help you. Oh, it's never ending.
Yeah, there's so much to keep on top of. Have you heard of Buffer?
Buffer? No. I've heard of Buffy.
Yeah, the Vampire Slayer. Buffer is supposed to be a scheduling social media app. I haven't used it, but I've heard about it, and I heard it's pretty decent.
I think
So I need to check it out.
I think Blaine was actually trying to get me to use that when we were doing stuff on Instagram. Because Instagram's where we've got our biggest sort of following. I think we've got about 30,000 followers on there.
Oh, wow.
Whether they all listen to the podcast or not, I highly doubt it. A lot of dodgy, like, I don't know. When you sort of started looking out to sort of your podcast and stuff, did you ever read like, oh, follow as many people as you can, blah, blah, blah?
I heard of that before on Instagram, to follow and then unfollow people to get followers, but that's dodgy.
That's the worst. Like,
it doesn't work.
No. Oh, like I've probably, when I did start off on YouTube, that was what a lot of people were telling me to do. They're like, just go to a profile or something that you have, that you're wanting to like say for instance, you'd go to like Metal Jesus Rocks or something like that.
Yeah.
You'd look at all the people that follow him, and then you'd follow them. And then obviously some might follow you back, some won't. But if you do get a couple of people grabbing, then obviously that's a win. But I stopped that pretty quickly. Just obviously a bit of a conflict of morality on that, because I just didn't. I'd prefer to grow organically and over time than get the quick win and have people just following you but not actually ingesting your content. Which I've always said I'd rather have 100 subscribers and 90 people watch than have 1,000 subscribers and have 90 watch.
Yeah, it's hard to get that balance of followers and people that actually engage with your content.
And that's what we all want, isn't it, at the end of the day?
Yeah. Because my followers, yep.
No, go ahead, dude.
Yeah, my followers, I'm on about 5,000 on Instagram. But the people that like my pictures or like my images, it's about like, I get maybe 20 likes per post or something. Sometimes maybe 100, but it's usually around the 20 mark.
I'm probably in the same boat, dude.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter if they follow you or not, depending if they actually look at your content or not. That's the different thing.
And it's always interesting when you post a question or something on an Instagram one to the people that actually respond back in regards to what it is that you're actually putting out there. Like I had a guy started following me 3 days ago. He posted hello on there, so I said hey, howdy, whatever. Then the next day he's like, can I have a free PlayStation code? And at that point I'm just like, I held back, because my normal reaction is just to give him a bit of a cup of truth.
Yeah.
But then I said, yeah, just wait a second while I pull it out of my ass. When I probably really want to say was, mate, you've been following me for 1 day. All you've said to me is hello, and you want something that's worth $20, $30 out of my own pocket. I'd probably just prefer to give you a foot in your ass.
Yeah. I've had people ask me for Amazon gift cards and iTunes gift cards. Like, no.
Like, I understand. I mean, these people look like they come from less fortunate parts of the world, so I do understand that they sort of see people out there with anything over 1,000 followers or whatever it is that they've got, and then they ask for these things, thinking, I mean, we're probably better off than what they are, to be honest. But at the same time, I mean, come on, fair suck.
Yeah, I watch a lot of. Do you watch Roberto Blake? Do you know who that is?
Yes, I do. Oh well,
He's great.
A lot.
He does a lot of how to start businesses, how to grow, passive income, all that sort of stuff. They need to watch that stuff if they want money. That's what they need to do.
Unfortunately, not a lot of people hand out things in this world.
Yeah, you gotta go take it or earn it.
And isn't that another thing as well? Like, I don't know if you sort of watch many sort of small YouTube channels. Like, I think I've started like preferring to be like a behind the scenes kind of guy when it comes to YouTube and everything like that. And I see people with like 40 or 60 subscribers saying, "Hey, when I hit 100 subscribers, I'm going to do a giveaway," and then that entices people to subscribe to them. And then when it gets there, then you're really spending money on something that hasn't really warranted you to make money.
Yeah.
I've never sort of been the cheap way of selling subs sort of thing. As I said, I'd prefer you just watch me and have a listen to me. And if you've got opinions on the matter, then I'm all up for a talk. That's really sort of where I started. And I'm probably stubborn and don't want to change my ways.
Yeah, with YouTube giveaways or giveaways in general, it gains people, gains followers, but then do they stick around? That's the problem.
Exactly
They're
right.
spending money on real things, but then does it actually work?
And I mean, you're doing yourself a disservice as well. I think that you're gaining followers in that way that only want to take from you instead of grow with you, sort of thing.
Yeah. That's right. That's where clubs come in.
What are clubs?
What's that?
What are clubs?
Collabs, collaborations.
Ah, yes.
That's where that comes in. So you both grow together.
Yeah, that's it.
I noticed that Shane Dawson does a lot of that, and as soon as he does it, the people grow like crazy.
Yeah, and going back to the sort of when I started out on YouTube, like I just used to do like gaming collection pickups and everything. And then I started sort of wanting to, because I work in finance industry, and there's not a lot of people who are into gaming in that area. Like there's I could probably give you a handful of people that I can talk to at my job on. Very rarely, though, mind you, because we're always busy. But it's just a way of expressing and talking to people and getting out there, and my love of talking about games. And then I started doing sort of news opinions and everything, where it wasn't exactly reporting on the news. It was telling you what the news was out there and then what my thoughts were. And that's where I started gaining a lot of traction, because a lot of people either agreed with you or they didn't agree with you. And me not being one of those people that just says, "No, you're wrong." I think about what I'm going to say, and then I'll talk to you about it. And if you say to me, "No, you're wrong," then I want to know what your opinion is and why you think that I'm wrong. And I'm always open to listen to people's opinions, because I want them to listen to mine.
Yeah, that's right. It's a give and take. You got to listen and you got to talk. Everyone's got to. There's no point talking if no one's going to listen, and there's no point. Oh, I'm sorry. There's no point. Yeah, I lost my train of thought there.
It happens, dude. Oh.
It happens. Trying to do this for about an hour, and we're almost there, about the 30-minute mark.
Yeah, but I mean, in regards to podcasting, I look forward to it every fortnight, because it's like an hour of time that you get to speak to someone who's got the same interests as you. And if people like what you're talking about, obviously they'll give you reviews and everything. Like, I was so rapt when we started getting reviews over on iTunes about it. And I mean, Blaine has an enormous following on his Twitter and his Instagrams and everything. And then with me, I'm still growing. Like, I don't have that many in sort of hindsight of what other people do out there. But again, these are people that I know that I talk to about those sorts of things.
It's always good to have someone to talk to about games.
Yeah.
And things you're interested in. I work with old people. I run my own business dealing with doing old people education, elderly education for technology.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't know anything about games. So you got to be very careful what you talk to about them, because they get very panicky about different things because they're older.
Yes. You, my friend, are a saint. I don't know how you deal with old people.
Oh, it's hard. I'm getting used to it. It's just about finding a like a groove, like a workflow of what to say and what not to say around them, because they freak out sometimes when you say certain things.
Yeah.
Like if you talk about hackers or something, they get really panicky and things. That happens.
Just any way that they can lose their money, that's when panic mode kicks in.
Well, yeah, but most of the time when you get messages on Facebook to say you've been hacked or don't do this, don't do that, it's all fake.
Yeah.
And that's what they freak out about. It's like, no, just read it word for word, find the spelling mistakes, find the stuff that doesn't make sense, and then realize it's fake. Yeah.
Yeah. God bless them.
That's my job. And it's interesting. Yeah. So podcasting. What haven't we covered yet? We've pretty much covered everything. What was the app you said you used to record it?
We use Zencaster. It's not an app. It's actually just a website.
Website, yep.
Yeah. So you could say for your podcast here. So you're obviously doing the audio through the Google Hangouts and everything, and then that's translating through to, I think it was YouTube. You were saying?
Yeah, it streams to YouTube, and then when you finish the stream, it'll just save it, and then you can download it later.
Yeah. So I mean, in that respect, you're only limited there by what you've got on the video, whereas with Zencaster, it's a different audio track. So I mean, if you want to use the video, you could then edit the audio and edit in secondary stuff like intro music, and it just makes it a lot easier when you're just sort of dealing with the separate audio things. Well, that's what Blaine tells me anyway.
Yeah. So does that record on separate audio tracks? So each person gets their own track? All right, cool. Yeah. That's a good way of doing it.
Then I suppose you've got to match it up to the video.
Yeah, syncing audio to video, it's pain.
Yes. Oh.
Do you do much video editing?
Sorry?
Do you do much video editing?
I used to do it painfully a lot. That's probably one by and part the reasons that I've sort of stepped away from YouTube for a bit. I was spending more time doing the YouTube and the YouTube editing than I was actually doing what I really enjoy, which is video games.
Yeah.
And that's why I started streaming and just got to do a lot more of what I wanted. It was sort of a good middle ground. Like you get to talk to people about games on the stream, and you get to play games at the same time. So it was a win-win for me there.
That's what I started doing. Well, my YouTube videos now, I don't edit. I just sit in my car with my phone and just record.
Yeah,
and then that's it. I just upload that. I don't edit it at all because editing was taking forever.
Yeah, like I know when I first started doing YouTube, I was actually just doing everything through the Xbox Connect.
Oh yeah, how's that go?
That took the longest of everything, just because of how you had to upload it to OneDrive and then you had to upload it to.
That sounds horrible.
So it would go, you record it, then you'd edit it through the Xbox One video editing app or whatever it is. That would stuff up at least 2 to 3 times when adding in transitions and everything. So you'd have to start again. Then by the time that you actually got it finished, then you have to upload it to the Xbox server. Then you have to upload it to OneDrive. Then I'd have to download it. And then I'd have to upload it to YouTube. And when we were on normal ADSL 2 Plus, that took all night. Like I would start at 7 o'clock in the evening, and I'd probably finish at about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, wow. That sounds horrible. Now you got NBN, it's much better.
It's a godsend.
For those outside Australia listeners, ADSL was our old internet system. Been around for like 20 years or so. They finally upgraded to NBN, which is fiber. Well, some areas it's fiber. It's much better.
I wish I had fiber here, mate.
Oh, really? I've got fiber to my exchange, and then it's just standard ADSL to my house. But still, it's much better than what it was.
Yeah, it's fiber to the node.
Yeah, the node. Yeah.
is what it is. Yeah.
Some people have fiber to the premise. I was at a client's house a couple of days ago, and they got fiber to the premise, and it's awful.
They just can't get it right, can they?
Yeah, it is much better than ADSL, but compared to what they're supposed to have, they're getting 10 megabits down, which for fiber to the premise, you should be getting around 100.
Yeah.
At least for that sort of thing.
Because I think when I was uploading, it was going at like 0.02.
Oh wow! Okay.
Back on ADSL 2 plus, but now I get generally about 25 to 30 going up. So that's a big improvement.
It's so much better, but people still complain about it. It should be better than Australian internet. The Americans have no idea what we're going to deal with over here.
I think we're rated like 28th in the world in terms of internet. I think I was reading not long ago.
I'll send you something funny that I saw on Facebook. I get ads for different ISPs.
Yeah.
And one of our most common to hate ISP has said that they're number one for Netflix.
That's the TPG one, yeah?
No, that was our number one, well, our most common ISP over here. They were saying the number one for Netflix. And I'm thinking, well, I used to work for you, and half the time people couldn't even connect to anything, let alone Netflix.
Well, that just narrows down the numbers that they have to compare to. So if they've got, say, 1 million people on there, but only 100 can connect, they've got 100 people connected right there, and it's going pretty fast.
I've seen people that try to use 4G to use Netflix on their TVs, and they rack up $1,000 bill pretty quick.
Yeah, we'll imagine so. I just don't understand how 4G is so much faster than just to your house internet.
Well, it looks faster. It's something to do. It's faster in spurts. So it's not a constant speed. It's somehow how it works. So when you download something small, it's very quick. But if you watch a movie on Netflix, it'll like slow down eventually and start chopping.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also depends on the area too. How many people are, how many 4G devices are in one area is how much load the towers have, and because all that bandwidth has to be divided between each device connected.
Bastards.
So if they're all using it at once, and that slows things down. That's why fiber to the node isn't great, because you got a limit on the connection. Yeah. So that's our tale of trying to be content creators in Australia.
It's an uphill battle.
It's an uphill battle. Well, I'm surprised. Well, on my PS4, I stream at 720p flawlessly, and then when I jump up to 1080, I get really bad frame drops, and the footage just comes out horrible.
Yeah, I'll have to check, because I haven't streamed on the PlayStation 4 for so long. But on the Friday night when you jumped in, I was on the PlayStation. Just because I used to stream from the PlayStation to the PC through their app. And it used to work fine, but now all of a sudden it's just so many frame drops and everything, which is really annoying. So I'm just checking what my quality was. It was 1080p, which is beautiful.
With that, are you using internet or are you using Wi-Fi?
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi. Is it 2.4 gigahertz?
No, it's the 5.
Okay, and you're still getting issues. That's strange for 5 gigahertz.
But that was the weird thing. There was no issues like 3 weeks ago. It was all perfect, and then just all of a sudden, I think there was an update on Windows, and then all of a sudden it just started being inconsistent.
Because I was using the PS TV for a little while to stream the PS4 to another TV. It works great for slow games like The Sims, but fast-paced games it's like useless. It's too much limit there on the speed. My PS4 is connected to internet to the router, and the PS TV is using 5 gig Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So it works pretty well for Sims, but anything else, it's a bit useless. I love Sims. Do you play much Sims?
I used to spend quite a lot of money on the Sims, on the original one, the first one.
Yeah, I had all of those expansion packs. The original one. My original Windows 95, Windows 98 PC struggled to handle that.
It would have been Windows 98 too, I think.
Yeah, it came out in about, I think, late 99 or 2000. Around that time it came out. So I got my Windows 98 machine with 2 megs of video RAM, and it had 64 megs of system RAM.
I remember whenever a new add-on pack used to come out, I'd obviously run out of memory to install it on. So not knowing that much about PCs and everything, I'd go down to the computer store and say, look, I need more memory to put on to play this game. And they thought I was talking about RAM.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, we can sell you like 5 meg or something for $110. I'm like, 5 meg? I need like 200 meg. They're like, are you talking about memory or are you talking about hard drive? And I said, it says I don't have enough memory to install the game. And this guy, he must have been like very, very passionate about it because he just stuck to his guns. He's like, well, if it says memory, then you need this. And I'm just like, no, that doesn't sound right. So I was just always deleting stuff that I probably needed from Windows folders and everything.
My original PC had 2 gigabytes. That was it.
Yeah.
Then my phone's got 128. My phone's a new one. It's like 4 years old. 3 years old.
Yeah, the times are changing.
Yeah, like the SD cards. I actually got an SD card here. People know what SD cards look like, but that one there, 32 gigs on that little card. Is that 30? Yeah, 32 gigs. That's You see the card there. It's insane. That's what we used to have.
Now you can get what are they coming up to terabytes soon?
Yeah, there's a new type of card coming out. I think it's 2 terabytes or something it can hold. It's insane. It's very expensive though.
Yeah, I definitely need that for my Nintendo Switch. I've just
of course you do.
Filling up my 128 gig card.
The Nintendo Switch would chew up a lot of storage.
Like you don't think that it would, but it all adds up, especially when have a couple of drinks. Oh, I'll buy that little game. I'll buy this game. Oh, I'll buy that game. And
yeah, it's a pain managing storage.
Like I swear, all of my consoles are out of storage. Like I got a 4 terabyte hard drive attached to my Xbox One. I've only probably got about 100 gig left. PlayStation, I installed a 2 terabyte in that. That's always constantly on the edge. And now my Switch is almost done, so I'm just like, oh god, I've got no room.
Such a pain. With Spider-Man, I installed that the other day when that came out, and that was 50 gigs to install. It's like, whoa. What game was it? I think it was Assassin's Creed Origin on the Xbox One X. Takes up 200 gigs because it's 4K. Yeah, and everything's got new textures and stuff with the 4K mode.
That's probably taking up a bit of space on there.
Yeah. Oh, 4K gaming. Did you do much with that yet?
Yes, I've got the Xbox One X. I got the PlayStation Pro. I've got a 4K TV.
Is it HDR?
Yeah.
And you notice the difference?
Yeah, a little. I still prefer like the 1080p 60 frames.
Okay, because the higher resolution will drop the frame rate a bit.
Yeah, I've always liked that. So I think they call it the soap or the opera effect.
Oh yeah,
just where everything looks individual, and I love that. Like with the Xbox One X and the PlayStation Pro, like in most games, you've got the option there to do performance or image. Because but then I'm just play it in 4K. Don't be stupid. You paid for a 4K TV, but then I always go back and I'm just like, but it looks so nice and it's so fast, and I waste more time working out what I want to play it on that way than I do actually playing the game sometimes.
That's why I switched from PC gaming, because you're in the settings most of the time, muck around the settings when you get to work. And now they're introduced that with the new consoles. Let's change the graphics settings. Like, no, it's a console. Just put the game in and let it play. Making things more complicated.
Like I think the last time I upgraded my PC, I think it's going back about 5 or 6 years now. And then I started playing around with a lot of the mods for Skyrim.
Oh yeah.
I spent all my time modding and trying to get those things to work that I never actually played Skyrim. So I was like, fuck this. I'm going out. I'm going to buy it on the Xbox 360. I'm just going to play it on that. I don't have to worry about it. And then, of course, they bring out mods to all the Bethesda games now on the consoles. So you just can't win.
How's it working? Have you tested that out yet? I heard about it.
The which one?
The modding with on consoles.
I don't like the fact that it says that if you add on this mod that you can't get like all your achievements or your trophies and everything. Or it would only be achievements because I don't think they've got it on the PlayStation. But I just don't like that they do that. I mean, I understand there's some cheap ones out there, but
it's that's the reason why you play console, to get the achievements.
Exactly, isn't it? Oh, I'm no sort of trophy hunter or achievement hunter by any stretch of the imagination. But if they're going to give it to me and I do it, then I do it.
That's what I'm just trying to do on Twitch. Hunt for trophies is what I'm trying to do walkthroughs.
Yeah,
that's the plan. Play the game and then put that on the YouTube later on, and then put like a index of what thing I did at what time, so people can jump through and find a certain thing.
Yeah,
editing it up, trying to do a walkthrough with like cut out bits is going to take too long. So they'll just do a index guide or something, like a chapter select.
Yeah.
You want this thing, go this time code. You want this thing, go this time code.
And that's the weird thing. And I've seen a lot of people that I do sort of support and help out and who have supported me over the years. They chuck up they don't stream to YouTube, but they upload their gameplay sessions. And I just think, why nobody's? I don't know anybody who would be interested in that.
Yeah, with everyone was jumping to Let's Plays at one point on YouTube. Everyone was trying to do that, but no one really figured out how to do it right, except for like Jacksepticeye and PewDiePie and all those people.
Yeah,
Markiplier. Call Me Chevin is pretty good too. He's a newcomer to that, but his stuff is heavily edited.
Yeah, exactly.
It's comedy. It's not let's play a game. It's like, let's make this game break. Let's make fun of it.
like I suggested to a friend, and he's a very stubborn young man. He uploads like his game sessions and he just sort of commentates over it. He talks to himself of it. I'm just like, dude, you need to just in your content, you need to like say, okay, this is chapter whatever or walkthrough of chapter, and that will get you more views other than just play through of whatever game it is you're playing, sort of thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. Make it educational.
Yeah.
Then that will trigger the SEO, search engine optimization. When people are searching for a certain thing, your video will come up.
Exactly.
There's no one searching for gameplay part 1 of this game.
Yeah, exactly.
They're always searching for this part of this game, or how to get this thing, how to find this thing, that type of stuff. That's what they're searching for. With your podcasts, do you do much with SEO? Do you know how some people find you through Google, do you think?
I don't have much to do with that, to be honest. As I said, I generally just do all the graphics and everything. And unfortunately, I sort of always leave that to the last second as well. But I don't know if Blaine sort of puts all of that into account and everything. Yeah. So unfortunately, no, I can't probably tell you that much on that.
SEO is very complicated.
I've tried reading up about it, and I get lost after about the second or third paragraph.
I used to do it for work for about 6 months at a marketing place. I got the hang of it, but it's just a lot. You got to know the subject deeply to be able to do it. Because you got to know what people are searching for, and then make that content match the search queries.
Yeah.
So you got to know the subject. That's the thing.
And that's the thing. Also, like, you don't always know what people are searching for this hour of the day or this time or
there is some tricks to figure that out.
I think you're pretty safe. think you're safe if you put Fortnite in there at the moment.
Oh yeah, but that's oversaturated. So it's like people on Twitch, everyone's streaming Fortnite. It's like you're not going to get noticed because there's so many people playing it. I usually use Twitch on my iPad, but I switch over to a laptop, and it's surprising how much you miss out on the laptop.
Yeah.
Because when you go to followers, you got to press view more, or was it view all or something?
Yeah.
And then you got to press it again to get more people. It's just it's surprising how the little people, the little guys, get missed out on because you don't see them. It doesn't show up.
Yeah.
With an iPad, you just scroll down, you keep scrolling, and they show up eventually.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But on a laptop or computer, you don't actually show up at all until you keep pressing the show all button, like the view all button.
I understand that that's sort of the whole, and that goes for podcasts, it goes for streaming, it goes for anything. Unless you're giving the podcast services or the Twitch services or anything like that a reason to show you where they can be making money from their ads and their revenue and everything, it's not going to happen, unfortunately. You might get lucky. Like I've heard really good stories where celebrities have endorsed small people's things and then they blow up. But then, they just don't maybe have the content to sort of match it afterwards.
That's what I've been hearing too when I listen to the YouTube experts. They're saying you got to have good content from the beginning because one day if you go viral, people are going to go for your back catalog and they'll keep them around. They like your back catalog, they'll stick around. So that's what I've been hearing. So make sure you have good content.
Yeah, that's the be all and end all of it. I mean, but good content for some people might not be good content for another person.
Yeah.
So I would say just be true to yourself. Don't do anything that everybody else is doing. Have your own opinions.
Yeah, it's content is very subjective. So there's an audience for pretty much anything. Except for hate speech, which we've learned with Alex Jones. Did you hear about that?
No, I didn't actually.
He's a conspiracy theory guy, and he got kicked off Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Got banned from one of those platforms.
Well, people. I mean, you can have an opinion, but anything that incites violence or hate,
he's very full on.
Yeah.
Google him later. Google his like compilations of when he starts freaking out about screaming about random things. It's insane. Like the stuff he goes on about. He's talking about how Obama makes frogs gay, and like Hillary Clinton is a devil. It's insane.
Oh my god! Some people are just a bit too stupid for their own good.
He's an interesting fellow. If you could find the clips on YouTube still. Because YouTube's purging everything featuring him. People were talking about him. Did you hear about the Hate Street podcast when they were talking about him?
No. Like I've only just started getting into Hate Street.
Okay. They're pretty good with their podcasting. They used to do comedy, but now they're moving more to podcasting. The demonetization issue was happening. They switched over to podcasting because it was better for them.
Yeah.
Demonetization, that's a fun topic.
You could go for hours on that, but I mean, people don't understand that. Like, you do start off doing these kind of things like the podcasts and YouTube and Twitch. You start off doing it for love, but then the more you want to do it, the more you want to be there for the people that are actually there supporting you. The more cost it gives you. So you really have to, unfortunately, sort of look at those other areas of places that you can get revenue.
Yeah, that's right. Making content takes a lot of time, and to put time into it, you can't work. You need to make money of it.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like, I mean, our podcast, I mean, we'd love to be able to do that weekly. We'd love to maybe even do it like twice a week. But from a family standpoint, from work standpoint, it's just all unaffordable. I know with my wife, if I was making money of it, it would probably be something that would be a lot more sustainable and those sorts of things. But when I started doing my streaming, I was streaming through a program called Restream.io.
Yes, I've seen you use that before. Yeah.
Which is it's really good if you want to go out there and you want to search and you want to find out where your audience is going to be. It just so happened that sort of Twitch ended up being the one where I was getting the most watches and the most follows. And then when I got that email saying, "Hey, we invite you to the affiliate program?" I was like, "Well, these guys are willing to give me the option there to earn money for doing this, so I need to move away from Mixer. I need to move away from YouTube because they just don't give you that option, unfortunately."
Yeah, YouTube, to get monetization, you got to put a lot of work in.
It's a lot of work. Yeah. I mean, I get what they're coming from, and that's not the reason that I did sort of eventually step away from YouTube. I did sort of step away from YouTube probably about 6 months after they made their whole monetization changes, which I understand for a business that is probably what's best for them. They just can't sort of keep handing out money to people who are working hard, but at the same time, it gives them a goal.
Yeah. Did you hear about the kids or the kids videos, the Dodgy Kids videos on
They're
YouTube?
all over the place, mate.
I typed in Spider-Man Elsa once, and there was a video, a CG, like a computer-generated cartoon of Spider-Man and Elsa getting on the beach, having relations. And then she gets pregnant at the end as a baby. And it has like cute music on it and stuff. It was like it has like millions of views.
Yeah, unfortunately, like in this day and age where basically iPads and mobile phones are all the new babysitters.
Yeah.
These kids just sit in front of it all day. Not the biggest fan of that, though. I would say that.
Yeah, there's a lot of. Oh yeah, did you see the 60 Minutes report about Fortnite?
Oh, don't get me started on that.
I watched that. I watched the whole thing, and wow.
They really don't know what they're talking about.
They don't like Fortnite. I'm gonna say that. It's the kids have issues, but it's more like depression. It wasn't like a video game problem, but it wasn't Fortnite. It was the kids are depressed and have anxiety, and they cope with video games.
Yeah, like I don't so much 100% blame the kids or anything as well. Like I know that it's tough being a parent out there, but if you're letting your kid play 60 hours of Fortnite a week, you might have to sort of start with the man in the mirror.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, all those kids in the story, they did have issues, but it wasn't just Fortnite. It was they need to see a psychologist, like they have depression or something, and something else was wrong. Not just they play Fortnite. That's the issue.
Yeah,
like that would about.
Like if it wasn't Fortnite, it would be something else. To be honest.
Yeah. I think we covered everything about podcasting. I think we hit we talked about what apps you use to do it or what program you use. Do you need to edit the podcast much, or is it just you just straight talk?
Yeah, look, during the week we'll put up a few sort of topics of stuff that we might want to talk about for the week, for the fortnight. Then we sort of prioritize, okay, well, if we talk about this, then that might take X amount of time. We also have to put into account that we might sort of go off topic and start talking about things like what we've been playing and everything. So we sort of put on a board or on a chat that we want to talk about, that this is what I want to talk about, this is what I want to talk about. And we sort of might just sort of break it down. Okay, well, if Taylor wants to sort of start off with this conversation, Blaine will then talk on this conversation, and then Mikey will have his. And then we sort of just break down what could potentially be like 12 topics down to 3 or 4 topics for in the interest of time.
Yeah, that's how you do it. Do you find that when people listen to your podcast, that they listen to all the episodes, or they jump between different ones? Have you noticed that in your analytics?
Like a lot of our popular ones are our early ones. So whilst our current podcasts are still sort of fairly steady in terms of people listening, a lot of it's almost like they might very well just find the latest one, and then they'll start going back and start sort of starting from the start and listening through everything. So I mean, like at the moment we're currently doing seasons, so we're in season 3 of our podcast. The reason we wanted to do seasons was so that we could have like an off season to discuss, like, okay, well, this worked well, this is a change that we might need to make. Are we going to start doing like YouTube videos? Do we want to go on Twitch? And we do that for about a month, and we just have some time off. Generally, it's around about the time when there's not much gaming news, so it all generally works out quite well. But we find that like our earlier podcasts, they're sort of getting up to the hundreds and, well, not hundreds of thousands, but hundreds and say around about 1,000 listens. So I mean, we're fairly happy with the progress that we've made since we started. Pretty much, like we're realists. We don't expect to become like overnight sensations or anything like that.
Yeah, I notice a lot of people are jumping into podcasting lately. It's a popular thing.
Well, it's on a bucket list, I think. I think it's by the age of 30 or something, you need to have tried and failed at a podcast. So
yeah, these days,
a lot of these young kids are, oh yeah, podcasts. I mean, but that's a good thing about podcasts. And to an extent, Twitch. I mean, we were talking about it on one of our podcasts. Blaine brought up the thing, and it's like, well, Twitch streamers and podcasters, they're the new sort of rock stars, so to speak. I mean, you don't need a college degree. You don't need to go to acting classes. You don't need to get a radio degree or anything like that. You can just sit in a bloody basement, if you want to sort of take the old cliche, and start up from there. And if you talk to the right people and people understand that word of mouth is such a good thing to help the people that you like, and people have got the same opinions as other people, then you can be like you and me, just starting so late, but yet sort of reaching an audience of people that is outside of your friends.
Yeah, that's right. With a lot of people, when they say, well, a lot of people saying everything's saturated. Like podcasting or content creation in general is saturated. But yeah, as I said before, earlier in this podcast, that people on YouTube are growing really quickly. I think what's happening is there was oversaturation, and then people are giving up, and that room for other people to rise. Is what I think it's
also the thing. Yeah, with YouTube, I mean, since they've brought in their new sort of rules there for getting monetized, like you're probably having a lot of people who were only doing it for that bit of money or whatever, and realizing that it wasn't enough, or they didn't have enough subscribers, and that they were getting lucky, but they just weren't getting those subs. That a lot of those people were probably going to end up leaving. But then that opens up the doors to new people to come out, and some people are just a bit more entertaining, unfortunately, than the next person.
Yeah. Do you ever watch the Storytime YouTubers?
No.
I almost died. I almost got kidnapped. It's horrible.
Yeah, I think I'll get that one a bit.
But some of those people have started music careers.
Oh, really?
Started acting careers and stuff. So they've taken that and jumped off to something else. Because you'd be surprised how much acting has evolved on telling a story like that.
But I mean, you'll see that you've got so many popular people on YouTube, and they do try and make that leap there to acting and everything. But unfortunately, people who watch the TV shows, they'll see that person and be like, who the hell's that person?
Yeah.
And then
there was one show that they try to break out. It was a YouTube series, and they try to stretch it out for like an hour TV show. Oh yes, it was. It was on Netflix. It was Miranda Sings. Did you hear about this? Yeah, so she had her own Netflix series, and they didn't realize that taking a 5-minute YouTube video and stretching it out to half an hour didn't work.
Yeah.
So I was trying to watching it, just wasn't good.
Because I think they even tried that, and that's where I sort of gained a bit of inspiration for my game collecting YouTube videos that I used to call the shit I'll probably never play. There was a YouTube show called Shit My Dad Says.
Yes, with the Star Trek guy.
Yeah, and then they brought out a TV show, and that only lasts probably about half a season, unfortunately.
I liked that show. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, it was. There's so many good shows out there that get cancelled too early.
stream and turned into a TV show.
Yeah.
To our Twitter feed.
So I mean, they've got. There's a lot of great ideas that there are out there, but I think you just need to be like, okay, well, this person works for YouTube, this TV works for TV. You just need to let it go.
Do you think TV is pretty much dead?
I think
like free-to-air TV.
I think that's why Current Affair and everything attacks things like Fortnite, because they're losing their viewers. Because Twitch, YouTube, everything is becoming so popular, and they will look at all those numbers of all those thousands and millions of people watching kids play games, and I think that they're like, well, why don't they care what's going on in the world? We have to stop these people from watching that. Like, well, you watch the news, like it's all pretty much doom and gloom.
Yeah, it's not very exciting. I was watching Phil DeFranco a lot on YouTube. Do you watch him?
Yeah, he's a good one. I enjoy watching
the new guys. I took a break from him for a little bit because it was just too depressing.
Yeah, it gets like that, doesn't it?
When he talks about YouTube, he does a good job, but when he starts talking about other things, he's like, "Oh, this is depressing. It's not for that."
Yeah,
but yep.
A guy I really, really enjoy, and I don't know if you're watching, but it's called This Offends Me TV.
Okay.
He basically watches all the idiots on YouTube, and then we'll just sort of point out their stupidity.
Yeah, there's a lot of that sort of stuff. Where you got the Logan Pauls and the Jake Pauls doing stupid stuff on YouTube. You see what they're doing lately? Have you watched them lately?
I don't watch those people.
They're trying to sell their merch to kids, right?
Yeah.
So what they're doing is they're adding in people to their vlogs, like 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Team 10 is Jake Paul's like gang or group of vloggers, and they've got 4-year-olds now in the group. And they're all wearing the Jake Paul merch. And they're selling the merch on Twitter, on Instagram and stuff to the kids.
Oh my god!
It's just like they're getting desperate. I think it's what's going on.
The only thing, the last thing I saw about the Pauls was that boxing match with KSI or whatever his name was.
Yeah, I heard about that, but it ended in tie, didn't it? Wasn't that exciting anyway?
I didn't. From what I heard, Logan Paul won.
Okay.
But he shouldn't have, so there's obviously going to be a second one. But
they planned the second one before the first match even started.
Of course they did. They're not. I mean, they go after young kids, but they're not stupid.
There's what was really interesting about that boxing match is Scarce showed up. Do you know who that is?
Nah.
Scarce. Do you know Drama Alert? Keemstar? Okay, so yeah, so that's the gossip YouTubers. Okay. So you got Phil DeFranco, who does good journalism pretty much and reports on the news. But then you got other people who Phil DeFranco unfortunately gets tied in with, Keemstar and Scarce. But mostly they talk about gossip on Twitter. Somebody said this on Twitter. Somebody did this to someone else, and it's like, oh, garbage. But Scarce showed up to box someone, and Scarce was a little bit chubby. And then he stopped posting on YouTube for 6 months, and then he shows up at his boxing match out of nowhere, and he's like skinny and fit.
Just ripped.
He's ripped. Yeah, he lost. Well, not ripped, but he's pretty skinny.
Yeah,
he lost like 40 kilos in 6 months.
That's what happens, isn't it? If you try to work out, you lose weight.
Yeah, that surprised me about it. That's the only thing I took away from that boxing match. It's like, oh, Scarce showed up. He's skinny now.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so I think we've covered most of the stuff about podcasting that you know of. Like you,
I know of, yes. I'm still learning.
You'd never stop with YouTube and everything. It's all a part. It's all a learning curve. And then like the algorithm changes and something changes, and you got to be on top of it.
Yeah,
like this partner program on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll change again in another year or two.
Yeah, it was just like a. What am I trying to say? It was just there was too much rubbish going on YouTube.
Yeah,
and they had to do something. It was the Wild Wild West. That's what I'm trying to say. There wasn't any rules. It's like, oh, you've got this many views. Yep, you have monetization, but there was no like quality control.
I think now with they're bringing out their TV shows and everything, they've really got to sort of be a lot more careful for their advertisers for that. And I mean, I know that they blame their advertisers, but yes, it probably does have a lot to do with adverts as well.
Yeah. It's surprising how many people are actually on YouTube. Did you know Oprah's on YouTube?
Yeah, that's the annoying thing, isn't it? Eh?
People don't want to YouTube.
Celebrities take over YouTube instead
Yeah.
of YouTube making celebrities now.
Yeah, like Oprah's on there, and it's funny seeing Oprah ask for subscribers at the end of the videos. That's a funny thing. She's like, "Oh, like and comment on my video." It's like, Oprah, you own a TV station. Why are you doing this?
Yeah, it's just another form of income for them.
Yeah, there's a lot of income on YouTube.
Mm.
But yeah, Oprah owns her own TV station.
Yeah, she's owned that for a while now, hasn't she?
Yeah, the O Network it's called.
These people just never want to stop working. That's the problem.
Yeah,
which is a good thing, I suppose. But
so I don't think we mentioned how you research your topics for your podcast.
Oh,
is it much research, or you just this is interesting? Let's talk about this.
Well, there's no secret to that. Like I'm always on your gaming websites, your IGNs, your Press Start Australia, your GameSpot, and you just read stuff and you can't escape it. Like if you follow one place and then you get on social media, something will pop up and you just okay. Then you read about it and then you're like, well, I've got a few things that I wouldn't mind saying about that sort of thing. So yeah, like with the gaming podcast, it is fairly simple because you just read up about it and then you talk about it. And with the addition of Taylor being in the podcast, I mean, it's good to hear from her because she's in the industry and there's some things that she can't talk about and there's some things that she can talk about. So we've sort of got an inside man now.
That's good. You had on one of the early episodes, you had someone from Australia, the Australian journalism.
Yeah,
gaming.
Ewan.
That's the one, and you'll make all these jokes about him being in Star Wars.
Because I used to listen because Press Start Australia has their Startcast podcast, and I used to listen to that quite a lot. And like they used to put out questions and everything on their podcast, and I'd sort of post on Twitter and everything, and just started chatting with Ewan. Started becoming sort of really good friends with him, and ran into him at PAX. I think it was about 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago. When they were doing like their story time or their panels or whatever it is that you want to call it. And he wasn't actually on the panel, but he was like taking all the photos and everything. And yeah, we just sort of hit it off and generally chat from time to time over social media. He's a really good kid. Bit younger than me, but yeah. Love of games brings a lot of people together.
Oh, how do you find being older and liking games? Do you find that much of a stigma with that?
Oh, the only stigma that you get is from older people than you.
Okay.
My mum is, are you still playing games? You still playing? Yes, mum. That's all. And then I'll be like, are you still watching VHSs?
Oh, VHS is horrible.
But I mean, shit. It's just sort of telling them, look, you watch. And I'll always sort of go back to GTA 5 on this. You watch your linear entertainment, and I'll play my video games.
Yeah, it's like did you play Detroit Become Human?
Yes, absolutely. I love Quantic Dreams.
So it's pretty much like watching a movie, but every time you play it, it's completely different.
Yeah,
I played it 3 times now, and I've had different endings every time.
See, I played it through the first time, and I was like all set to go through another time because I wanted to finish it the first time and then start streaming it, but I didn't get around to keep on going on with it, just because I obviously love retro games, but I do love new games, but then at the same time I've got a big back catalogue of games that I have not finished. So Twitch sort of inspires me to finish those games.
Yeah, so you're playing for the audience, and the audience wants to see the ending.
Half the time I'm playing for me, but
Yeah. Oh, oh well, they're watching.
Yeah, like my subscribers will generally have. I'll sort of put out to them and say, hey, what do you guys think that I should play next, and sort of run a couple of polls and just sort of go from there.
Do you have any with Twitch? Do you play one game start to finish, or do you jump to different games?
I at the moment my schedule is Tuesdays are generally and I call them in my head time travel Tuesdays because that's where it started off on YouTube. Just where I sort of play retro or older games. So at the moment I'm playing Bully on there.
Boy, it's pretty good
on the 360. Then Thursday, is more of my well, this is a game that I really want and probably should be playing. So at the moment I'm playing Shenmue 1 and 2 on there, the HD. But before that I was like playing Yakuza 6. Before that and before Bully I just finished Scarface. And Friday nights when I've had a few drinks, I'll just probably play whatever the newest game out is. Like last Friday when you popped in, I was playing Spider-Man. And yeah, because I guess I prefer to play the newer games by myself first without having to worry about setting up a Twitch stream. Yeah, and not sort of worrying about, this person's talking or this person's talking, which I don't mind, don't get me wrong, but I want to be able to get engulfed in that new game that's just came out.
That's what I find with the PS4. It's very simple to get going. At the start the stream, you don't have to worry about OBS. You don't have to worry about this and that. Just press the go button and it goes.
Yeah, I think I moved from OBS to Streamlabs OBS.
Yep.
And that is so much more simple, and it's got so many more options, and it uses less resources.
I gotta check that out.
It's very, very simple. Like it's got a little tab there where you can set your overlays, and the overlays are easy to move around. Because before that, I was using Stream Elements overlays, but you have to go to the website. You have to move everything around, and if it's off, then you have to go back. You have to
wow.
everything again.
That's horrible.
Whereas you can just really do with this Streamlabs OBS, like there's not as many options to pick from, but if you find one that you really like, then it's just a matter of scrolling it down, moving it to where you want it to go, and you can do that sort of midstream.
That's pretty good. Why when I'm watching Twitch, I don't like when people have overlays because they overlay the gameplay.
Yes.
And the elements especially when you're playing Sims, you got so much different UI things to look at. People have like their logo and stuff over the top of it.
Yeah.
It's very annoying. You
can sort of search with the Streamlabs one. It's got like video game centric ones as well. If you like search for say The Sims, it'll be an overlay that won't impede on the sort of interface of the game.
That's why I like the PS4 because you got the black border. And it has the comments on the side, you on the side, and the gameplay fully without any overlays.
Yeah, see, I don't like having that black bar thing on the side on the PlayStation. I'd just much rather like set up an iPad and have Twitch just sitting there and just read the comments through there.
I've tried that before, but I find with the app, if you close it and go to something else and come back to the app, the chat refreshes, which annoys me. Okay. You had that issue?
No.
Okay.
When I start up, you just go to the dashboard and it pops up. I think there's been an update now, and it tells you like how long you've been streaming, how many people are watching, who subscribed, if you've got new subscribers, and then it's just a chat down the bottom, and Bob's your uncle.
Oh, very good. Yeah, I've had trouble with it in the past. Oh, it was in the past, so probably fine now. I got my laptop here to look at the chat if I need to, because on the PS4 sometimes it goes too fast and you can't catch up with it.
Yeah.
You can go to the stream menu and view the comments full screen, but then the streams pauses for a minute when you do that.
Well, yeah, the thing is, if you go to the dashboard, it doesn't actually show the stream as well, so you don't have to worry about that. It just actually shows everything that you need to have there.
Yeah.
But I'm also pretty lucky. I've got a long-term friend. You probably would have seen him in there, Builders 26. He sort of does a bit of crowd control there for me as well. I've set him up with the mod and everything because he's there every stream. Keeps me motivated.
Yeah, the mod. That's you get some dodgy people on Twitch sometimes, especially in the IRL section.
Oh, I like there's a lot of cosplayers that I used to watch on Twitch, but then they just moved a lot to the IRL streams. I'm just like, yeah, nah, it's all right. Goodbye.
They're pretty boring, I have to say. The only thing that is fun is their lack of clothing, but after all that, it's boring.
That's it. So I'd much rather than be playing games. But I mean, if they're like making a costume or something like that I would find interesting. But some of them just sit there all day and they're just chatting and chatting and chatting, and it's just like, okay, that's all right.
Yeah, and the chat in the IRL section gets a bit hectic sometimes with all the horny men.
Oh, yes. I think that's about 70% of males.
Well, I think we pretty much covered everything in this podcast. We covered, podcasting in general, and then a bit of Twitch and a bit of YouTube because that's what we do as well. Is there anything else you want to add to the people who want to start content creation? Any advice that we didn't mention already?
Just do your research. It's so easy to just set up a podcast these days. It's only as complicated as you make it at the end of the day.
Yeah. I find using Hangouts is very simple. So start with something basic. That's what I say.
Yeah, that's it. Like I think and I know it's not sort of podcast related, but when I started off with YouTube, as I said, I started off with just using the Connect and the Xbox One features. But then as time went by, I used like a free editing program. I think it was DaVinci.
Oh, yeah.
That was just a very simple, straightforward one. It cut what I wanted to do. I wasn't interested in adding any effects or anything like that. And then you move, and now I pay for Adobe, but that's because there's a few extra things that does that other ones don't. And yeah, just don't spend money if you don't have to.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, when they start doing YouTube or start doing anything in general, they spend all this money, and then they realize they don't like it, and they waste all this money.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so with me, I just do basic. I use my phone for recording videos, use my PS4 for Twitch, and then for podcasting, I was using OBS because I have got another podcast. I do tech Q&A videos.
Nice.
And I was like stitching those together to make a podcast out of it. And I was using OBS to do that. Another app to do the editing called WeVideo. I need to, because my computer's so old. It's a Mac, by the way.
Yeah.
It's 10 years old. So it's seen better days. But I have to use it. It gets the job done. I have to use everything cloud-based because it hasn't got the processing power to handle anything. And yeah, I use Hangouts to do this video now. I was going to use OBS and Skype and stuff, but that wouldn't work because OBS I can stream at 720p at about 5 FPS.
Oh.
So not good.
That could be a problem.
For my other YouTube channel that's targeted towards seniors, it won't matter because they don't care. It's like, a video on the internet, that's magical. That's amazing. They don't care about the frame rate.
Yeah.
It's like, oh wow, it's on the internet.
As long as the content is there, the things like that, all the bells and whistles, they don't really matter. I remember sort of talking to somebody when I started doing my Twitch streaming. I'm like, I think I can only do 520p, and they're like, do not worry about that. If you're interesting, they can hear you. The game that you're playing is fun and exciting. The rest doesn't matter. Yeah,
I've seen Twitch streams that were at like 480p, and they look fine if they're using the right bit rate because it wasn't too fuzzy, but it wasn't that noticeable.
Yeah.
And I use Twitch on my TV, so my big 42-inch TV. So it doesn't. As long as the content's fine, as long as the people are good personalities.
Yeah, that's it. Like, it's not for everyone, but if you've got the passion there to do it, then that should come through to the people that watch you, listen to you, whatever it is.
So now we talked about the how to do content. Is there any new YouTubers or new content creators that you want to do a shout out to that you think are doing a good job?
Yeah, look,
That we should check out.
there's a couple of them out there. As I sort of said earlier on, This Offends Me TV. I love the stuff that he puts out there. He's amazing. Another one is another guest that we had on the Gamer Nation podcast was John from the Invasion Show. That guy just makes me laugh all the time with all his stuff. He does a lot of sort of trailer reactions to your Rainbow Six. He's very much into Rainbow Six, but he does a lot of other stuff. He's an old school gamer as well, and he's just funny as hell. If you haven't listened to any of our podcasts with him on there, make sure you check it out, Brenton, because he's hilarious. He's really good value. Other than that, like YouTube, I generally just watch it for information and games, like IGN and everything. Podcasts, I'd definitely check out the Press Start Australia one. That's really good. With Ewan and all his mates over there at Press Start Australia. I really think that they're the best gaming content there is out here in Australia at the moment. And they're really relatable. They talk to everyone. Whereas I think I find a lot of the bloggers and everything here in Australia, some of them can be a bit standoffish or just not as social as the others. But all the guys at Press Start, they love hearing back from you guys. Yeah, all of them there.
Checking that out now. I'm Googling these people. Check them out. One person.
They're all university kids, I think. So it's like a hobby or something that they're trying to get done, but they do a fantastic job over there.
The YouTubers that I've been liking lately, who are just showing up out of nowhere. You got, have you heard of Fact Fiend?
No.
It's his British.
Oh no.
And he's talking about pop culture, like history and facts and stuff. It's very interesting. Fact Fiend with Carl Smallwood. His name is actually Carl Smallwood. That's his name.
We won't hold it against him.
Yeah, he's been doing it for about started in 2017, in early 2017, and
so
last time I checked Social Blade, he was getting 50,000 subscribers a month.
Jesus Christ!
So he's growing very quickly.
Yeah.
So that's what I said before with YouTubers. I noticed a lot of boom with some of them recently growing really quickly. But people say YouTube's dead. I don't really think so. I think YouTube is also a good place for podcasting too.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm going to post this. That's why we're doing a video version. So we can post this, and then we'll do the audio version on iTunes.
That's like what we said. If you're not on everything, you're really doing yourself a disservice.
Yeah, post on as much as you can. I find YouTube better for discovery because of the SEO, because they're tied into Google. So if you search something into Google, it brings up a YouTube first, usually. Have you noticed that when you Google something? So my recommendation is if you're going to do content creation, do YouTube first, like post on YouTube, because you're going to get the discovery.
Yeah, exactly.
Is my opinion on that one, because that's how, with my tech channel, I go through Google and find the top searches, and then make videos about that, and then I'm usually on the front page for those searches.
That's good.
After I post the video. Yeah.
I think I only managed that a couple of times, but hey, that's without knowing what it is that I'm doing. Just learning as I go. So
that's why this episode was about podcasting, but everything ties into everything.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So I just find YouTube as a good place to post things because it's better discoverability. It's just I've tried watching pre-recorded stuff on Twitch before, and it's just so buggy. Have you noticed that? You try to watch pre-recorded things?
Yeah, probably to an extent, yeah.
Because the reason why I like YouTube so much is I got YouTube Premium, and I can listen to it as a podcast, like have the screen off, have it downloaded, and do it as I'm driving.
I've started doing that now too, yeah.
Yeah, I tried to do it with Twitch, and you can have things in the background, and you can not really download it, but you can just have the audio playing. But it's so buggy; it keeps jumping between. Like it plays for a little bit, and then when you open the screen up, it jumps back to like half an hour before when you started.
Yeah,
like he's jumping. It's like just continue. I keep re-listening to bits. Yeah, it's just awful. I don't like Twitch. The pre-recorded stuff on Twitch. Because there's a few podcasts on Twitch that are exclusive to Twitch that people have done. And it's about how to grow on Twitch and how to grow on social media and stuff I want to learn about. But just because the app is so buggy, it's just so hard to view it. So let's end the podcast now. So I think we're pretty much we've been going for an hour and a bit.
Fuck, it's been that long.
Yeah, we can get going. We started at 1:30ish, and it's now 4:15. So I call my 3. So 3, not 4.
Oh, okay.
Going for a bit. On my screen, it says we've been going for an hour, but I'm sure it's been longer than that. Let's just refresh it. So hopefully this all saves correctly, because that would be annoying.
Nothing worse.
So I think I'll edit it a little bit and just sort of make sure, because we jumped around subjects a little bit, just to make sure the subjects are in the same spot. About an hour and 40, I think I've got here. So
that's all right. I suppose you could just take a few things out that you don't need, or
So is there anything, anywhere you want the people to find you, Mikey? Where are you on social media?
Mostly on social media. There's a few different names. So I'm just normally Mad Mikey with 2 E's and a Y. That's on Instagram and on Twitter. I always get Twitch mixed up with Twitter.
I do too.
YouTube and Facebook on Mad Mikey Gaming, and that's the same. And then Twitch, it's Mad Mikey with 2 E's and a Y. So I'm thinking of streamlining it all, but I just haven't got around to it just yet. Yeah,
it's a bit hard. Have you looked at doing a link tree? You see what that is?
Yes, I do use that. I've got that on my Twitter and my Instagram.
Yeah, so I need to start using that, because it's confusing, all these different places.
Yeah, that's it.
Now on Instagram, you can only link to one place. So if you link to a link tree, then it should have everything there.
Yeah, exactly.
And what about podcast? There was
podcast.
Gamination.
That's the hashtag Gamination podcast.
And that's on everything, is it?
Everything, yep. And we've got our social medias on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Just Gamination Pod.
Yes, I did notice that when I searched for it. Gamination Pod. There's so many different podcast clients out there. It's very confusing.
Yeah, it's and it's just growing, and I guess that sort of reflects on how popular sort of podcasts are becoming these days.
Yeah, I was listening to something that Gary Vaynerchuk said. Do you know who that is?
No.
He's a big entrepreneur in America. He's a big businessman, and he's saying that audio is the future. So get onto audio.
Didn't video kill the radio star?
Well, you've gone backwards, because now we've got like the Amazon Echo and the Google Homes and stuff now. And they have podcasting apps built in, and you can just say, play this, and it'll play it for you.
Yeah.
So he's saying that that's going to be the future. Even though we had radio and the radio died, and then we're going back to radio. Going back in circles.
That's the way it always goes.
Going backwards. There's like with games, because in the 360 PS3 era, shooting games was a popular thing. And now we've gone back to 3D platformers.
Yeah, and then you're bringing out games like Shenmue and Sonic and Mario Brothers.
Bring back the oldies.
Yeah.
Bring back the platformers. Because
never dies.
The late 90s 3D platformers was the killer genre, and now we've gone back to it. We've got Ukulele. We've got Lucky Sale, Super Lucky Sale. It just seems to be 3 platforms is the way to go.
Yeah,
which is good for me because that's what I like. I always like re-releases.
That's a good thing. Like, you can't go wrong with that. You're going to have your nostalgic value there for us older gamers, and then you've got the new generation of gamers that, oh, what's this? Oh, this is pretty cool.
I reckon a lot of people are going to have a shock when they play Shenmue for the first time.
Yeah, definitely.
That's very jarring to go back to.
But I'm glad that, like, I go into a lot of video game shops and I don't see that available anywhere. So they didn't put that many out, or they're just sold out. Which
which is
both.
Good.
That's still a good thing.
Well, I was in JB Hi-Fi recently, and they had a couple of copies of it. But I picked mine up day one.
Yeah.
EB Games. Because the way I like to do it is I like to pre-order games, well, the ones I actually know I'm going to want.
Yeah.
Pre-order and then pay it off as I go, like every couple of weeks, pay it off.
Mm.
So when I go to pick it up, it's all paid for.
Yeah. And then it makes you feel like you're picking up for free.
Yes, even though you're not. Spider-Man cost me like $120 for that.
Which edition did you get?
I got the special super edition with the comic book box.
Okay, yeah.
Did you see that?
No.
That's the box.
Okay, yeah.
So it looks like a comic book.
Looks pretty sweet.
Yeah, and it comes with an art book, and that's about it. Really, an art book. That's about all you get, really.
So I just got the standard edition, and I think it was like $62 off of Amazon.
And it's got the metal case.
Yeah.
Which I'm not so much of a fan of because it doesn't suit the other boxes, but
steel boxes do my head in.
Yeah. And it's got an art book. It comes with some DLC as well. That didn't come with the other edition, but I haven't really checked it out. It's just like behind the scenes stuff, which is cool.
That's cool.
And there's a DLC episode for it already, like a DLC chapter. Have you seen that?
Yeah. I have feelings about that.
Oh, really? Okay. And you can hear about that on the hashtag Amination Podcast.
I definitely brought that up on this week's podcast, which came out, I think it was last Thursday.
Yeah, so I did see that on my phone. I checked out your podcast during this video, and I noticed you had a new episode. So that's downloaded now.
Well, the weird thing was he posted on Thursday on SoundCloud, but it didn't show up until it was about late yesterday on the iTunes, which I don't know why, but I think it had something to do with the RSS feed or something.
It takes a while for this update.
Don't fully understand.
Yeah. Which podcasting app do you use?
I just use the iPhone podcast. I whatever it is.
I'm on Android, so I use Pocket Cast.
8 years of the console generation.
Oh, you can hear you talking. There we go. That was you. All right, so let's finish up this podcast because I think we've covered everything we need to cover today. We don't want to cover too much in one episode. So I want to thank Mikey for coming and joining us here.
It's great to be here, dude.
Yeah, this is just a new podcast I'm starting up. So hopefully every 2 weeks there'll be a new episode.
Yeah, I hope you have a lot of good luck with this because it's educational, especially if you get people a bit more experience than me. But
that's what I want to do: interview the not lower, but the smaller creators. No, the smaller creators. So we get an idea of how to grow. Because if you get big content creators talking, their information is usually pretty out of date because they grew ages ago.
Yeah.
So for the new people, it's talking to smaller creators are going to be more beneficial, I think. That's my goal anyway.
Oh, that's good. Good. All right.
So I think that's finished. All right, I think I did all right with that. It does need to be edited, but that's fine. That can happen. Just so I can move certain things together so it flows a bit better.
Yeah. No, that was good. Like there was a lot of stuff for us to talk about, which was good. There wasn't any awkward pauses.
No, that's why I wanted that's why the subject matter is so big. We are content creators. It's a huge topic and I can go for years.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's the plan.
as long as you're passionate about it.
Yeah, I watch a lot of people that talk about growing on YouTube and stuff, but yeah, they're usually the big people talking. It's like, oh, let's hear from the little people. That's a bit more useful.
Yeah.
Cool.
Everyone helps each other, as you said.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to make a section of this podcast where there's a shout out section. So if people you like can get a bit of a boost, hopefully, if our podcast takes off.
Oh, just make sure you advertise it on everything, and hopefully you get a couple of snags.
Hopefully, your wife wasn't too upset about you using up your time with this.
Oh no, she just got back from shopping now, so
okay, cool.
Probably finished at a good time.
No worries. So I'll let you go then.
Awesome.
So thanks, Marky, and I'll catch you on the socials.
Will do. Take care, mate.
All right, see ya.
Bye.
I think Marky has left us. Oh, very good. So we'll close this podcast off with come follow me, my socials, Brenton Chevin on everything. This podcast is called We Are Content Creators, so search for that. Links is in the description below. For Mikey, for the people we shouted out, and for me and the podcast. So go follow us there. And thanks for watching.